Good afternoon and welcome to this week's People to People Australia Market Update, where we explore the latest insights and trends impacting the hiring and job seeker landscape across the country. I'm Colleen Deere, Legal Team Leader here at our People to People Perth office. So what does 2025 look like for the legal market? We are joined by Wills and Estate Solicitor Manuela Kacomanolis from DFG Legal to discuss the state of WA's legal market in 2024 and what key trends have shaped the landscape this year. Also, what are their potential impacts on the future? Also coming up on today's show, AI in the workplace has certainly arrived, but are businesses ready for the challenges ahead? We've got some hot jobs across Perth, as well as new opportunities for working holidaymakers in New Zealand and the UK. And lastly, we'll take a quick look at our social media insights on if Aussies would prefer a 4-day work week if given the option. Let's get started with this week's Stat of the Week. So AI in the workplace has certainly arrived, but are businesses truly prepared for the challenges that actually come with it? A recent LinkedIn and Microsoft report revealed that 84% of Australian workers now use AI in order to boost productivity and creativity, putting Australia ahead of Europe and North America in AI adoption. This rapid integration is transforming workflows and reshaping the labour market, which positions businesses at the forefront of innovation. However, with that comes challenges, and they do persist. While 75% of Australian leaders hesitate to hire those without AI skills, actually only 39% of professionals receive company-sponsored AI training, highlighting the need for businesses to prioritise education and continuous learning. So by 2025, this report highlights that AI will be central to operations, demanding structured strategies, robust training, and ethical practices. Companies that invest now will thrive, and those that delay risk actually falling behind. And that's it for this week's Stat of the Week. First up, in Perth, we have a HR advisor role, and you do need to provide HR support to digital intelligence business across Australia, advising people leaders on HR policies, and we're looking for a minimum of 4 years HR generalist experience. Please reach out to Ciara on the details below if this is something you're interested in and you have the relevant experience. Next up, within the legal industry, we have a legal director role here in Perth. This provides a very competitive salary, and really part of that role is developing and maintaining strong client relationships, providing sound and commercially focused legal advice. And really what we're looking for is someone who has been admitted to practice in WA with a minimum of 6 years PAE experience. Please reach out to Stephanie on those details below. And now, if you're looking for a career change or seeking your next exciting career move beyond the borders of Australia in 2025, really consider exploring opportunities with People to People, because we have offices spanning across New Zealand and the UK that can help you grow your career next year. Having a look at these opportunities, we've got a shipping coordinator opportunity in London. We also have a director of compliance and insight in London. And in New Zealand, in Auckland, we have a social media specialist role. And that's it for this week's Hot Jobs. So what challenges and opportunities await the legal market in 2025? To help us break this down, we are joined by Wills and Estate Solicitor from DFG Legal, Manuela Kacomanolis. Thank you very much for joining us today. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It's great. It's great to have you come on and chat with us. So I've got some questions here that I'd love for you to answer for us, Manuela. So before we really jump into the conversation, can you tell us, first of all, just a little bit about DFG Legal?
Sure. So DFG Legal provides legal services in a range of areas, including commercial law, family law, criminal law, employment law, wills and estates, which is my area, and we also provide assistance in state administrative tribunals and settlements. Damien Gordon is the principal solicitor, and he has nearly 40 years experience, but all our solicitors here are very experienced and focused on providing the best services that we can to our clients. We have 3 locations in the Perth metro area. That's Como, where I'm based, Armidale and Mandurah, and we are a medium-sized firm. However, we still apply a personalised approach to cater to the specific needs of our clients, as we understand different cases need different resolutions.
Absolutely. That's great. Thanks for giving those insights. So how would you describe the state of the legal market in WA looking back on 2024?
Yeah, well, in relation to my field, being wills and estates, I believe there will be a greater increase in this area of law, in the deceased estates area. And not just in WA, but across all of Australia. As the baby boomer generation begins to age, there's going to be a massive amount of wealth being transferred to the following generations. And a lot of this wealth will be tied up in real estate, because property, real estate, is most often a person's biggest asset. So I do feel like it's an area of law that we will see significant increase in.
Yeah. Great, thank you. And what have been some of the biggest challenges in your market that you've seen at DFG Legal this year? And do you think that these are unique to WA, or are they really reflective of the whole Australian legal market?
I suppose the biggest challenges are people relying on artificial intelligence to obtain their legal information. So there are people are aware of applications such as 𝗏GPT. So a lot of people will go on there to try and get some sort of legal information, but it's not tailored specifically to the client's situation. And that goes really for any area of law, not just my area of law. So I feel like the biggest challenge is that there's a danger on clients relying on this information without seeking proper legal advice.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And you would obviously have to educate them then about what they've seen.
And correct a lot of what their conceptions, like misconceptions are.
Yeah, of course. It's very interesting. And so at DFG Legal, I know you specialise in wills and estates, but what kind of changes have you seen in 2024 compared to previous years? Would you say AI is one of those that you've really seen a big change in?
Yeah, AI, but in particular in WA, it's the shift from paper-based transactions to online transactions. So there's been a big shift from, especially when it's dealing with Landgate. So Landgate deals with the registration of real estate property here in WA. And as of August last year, 2023, Landgate no longer issue paper titles, paper duplicate certificate of titles. And I think that surprises a lot of people, and they get a little bit worried that paper titles are no longer issued. A lot of the certificate of titles can now be ordered online, and transactions such as in my area of law, such as survivorships, transmission applications, transfers, that can all be done now on the 𝗶𝐿 software. And all these transactions will actually be processed a lot faster being done online than opposed to it being done paper-based. And I feel like it's actually for the better with it being done with a big shift. I mean, the East Coast, that's already done. They're all using 𝗶𝐿 and everything's online now. But I find, especially with the paper-based titles, it's not a true reflection on what is actually on the title. So the best, like any transaction involving property, I will go straight on to Landgate because I know that the true reflection will be what's on there, what's on Landgate, not on the physical title that's presented to me. So I'm actually quite happy they're getting rid of the paper-based
moving forward.
Now.
That's good. And then lastly, Manuela, looking ahead to 2025 then, what do you think will be the biggest opportunities for the legal market in WA? And also we'd love to hear some challenges that you think we'll see next year. Yeah,
sure. So the biggest opportunities that has actually come through, not just in 2024, but since the COVID pandemic, is the option to do teleconferencing for appointments. I feel like, I think some people may get a bit intimidated coming into a legal office, so it provides a much more casual atmosphere being able to do it, a teleconference, and especially for clients who aren't able to attend in person. So I do feel like teleconferences are here to stay. They're going to remain. And it works well for everybody involved. I think as far as challenges in my particular field is I still work on a lot of estates where the deceased person died without a will, and that's what we refer to as an intestate estate. Nowadays, especially where there are a lot of blended families and the estates can be quite complex. I mean, I've seen a lot of contested estates between step-parents and adult stepchildren. It's sometimes even worse when people try and do their own will and it doesn't meet the formal requirements of a will. So the intentions may not be very clear, or it might be drafted poorly, and there's so much more complications involved. So it's actually it's so much easier if a person just spends that small required amount of money in seeing a solicitor drafting their will, because you know it will be drafted properly, rather than trying to draft it yourself or not having a will at all, because it actually ends up costing the estate a lot more money down the track.
Yeah, more hurdles to face there as well. No, I really appreciate those insights. Thank you for that, Manuela. I'm sure everyone watching will really have found that quite interesting as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. And for anyone that is wanting to get in touch to learn more, the details are on the screen, or you can use the links in the comments below. And thank you again for joining us today. And we can now go ahead and take a look at our social media polls for this week. So last week we asked if your workplace offered a 4-day work week, would you opt in? And 65% said absolutely, sign me up. And the rest, 35%, said no, I would stick with the 5 days. So this week we would love to know, is your employer all talk and no action when it comes to workplace diversity? Let us know your thoughts. Jump on to People's social media across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram and X to have your say and to stay ahead of the job market. Be the first to hear about any new opportunities across Australia. And that is it for today. Thank you for joining us for this week's Australia Market Update. We will be back next week, which is our final live stream of the year, to cover the latest market and employment updates across Australia, and that's at 12:30 p.m. See you then.